Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Julia, a Dallas-based flight attendant. So for today's video, I was actually tagged by two other flight attendant YouTubers, Nesbitt and Galley. I'll make sure to put their channels in the description box below. This is a flight attendant like most frequently asked questions tag, so I'm going to be answering those questions in this video. So I am going to tag Life by Francesco. He is one of my friends and he is a Miami-based flight attendant, so I will also put his YouTube channel in the description box below. So anyways, thank you so much ladies for tagging me and sending me these questions, so let's get this video started. Alright, question number one is honestly the question that I get asked the most, and it is, how do I become a flight attendant? So to become a flight attendant is pretty much like any other job. You apply online and then you go through the pretty lengthy interview process. So the first thing is to always make sure that you are on the lookout for when airlines are hiring, because usually when the airlines do open up their applications, they're only open for a few weeks at a time and they only open up a few times a year. Also, when I was applying to become a flight attendant, I applied for multiple different airlines. I think I applied for like 6 or 7 different airlines. I highly suggest applying for multiple different airlines, even if you know that in the end you might not want to work for a specific airline. Applying and interviewing is still really good experience, especially for when you do get that face-to-face interview with the company that you really want to work for. When you're becoming a flight attendant, the first step is the initial application, which is just the resume and the online application. And then beyond that, sometimes you will get sent like an online questionnaire or a phone interview. Once you pass that, you are then onto the video interview. And this is not like a normal Skype interview. It is not like one-on-one with another person. It was basically like a question was put on the screen and then I had a few minutes to think about it, and then the screen automatically started recording me for, I think it was 2 or 3 minutes, so I could record my answer. You were not able to edit your answers either, so this wasn't like you were given the questions ahead of time and then you could think about them, record them, edit your answers, and then send them in. It was all like very on the spot, as if someone was actually there interviewing you. And then when you pass the video interview, you are then given your date for your in-person interview. And then once you are at your in-person interview, if you are given the CJO, which stands for contingent job offer, and what the offer is contingent on is you passing training. As I was applying to become a flight attendant, I was also part of a Facebook group called Flight Attendant Career Connection, and I highly suggest joining that group if you are considering becoming a flight attendant. Question number 2 is, do you have any remedies for jet lag and bloating? I'm one of those people that time zones don't really affect me that much. I'm pretty lucky. I've always been pretty good at adjusting to different time zones quickly. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I traveled a lot growing up. I was a gymnast, so I traveled across the country quite often for competitions, and I did that all throughout high school and college. What really helps me beat jet lag, especially after an international flight, is to stay awake as long as I can. A lot of flight attendants like to take 3 or 4 hour naps as soon as they get into their international destination, and if that helps you, then that's great, but for me, that does not help me at all. As soon as I start to fall asleep, I will stay asleep all day, and then I'll waste the whole day, and then I won't be able to sleep that night. So for me, what really helps with jet lag is to try to stay awake as long as I can till like 9 or 10 p.m. and then allow myself to have the full night of sleep, and then usually by the next day, I'm okay. Obviously, when you fly, you bloat. Some suggestions I have are to make sure that you are eating as healthy as possible. Greasy food, especially when you're traveling, can really make you bloat and just feel kind of gross. To not drink things that dehydrate you. So coffee, caffeine, and soda, those things like can really dehydrate you. And I know a lot of people need those things to stay awake, especially if they're working on the planes, but they do dehydrate you and they can make you bloat. So I highly suggest like drinking a ton of water while you travel. That really helps me to flush everything out of my system. I also take 3 different supplements every day that really help me with bloating and with my digestive system. The first one I take is apple cider vinegar, and I will make sure to put these supplements in the description box below. It supports your natural system detox, and it supports healthy digestion, weight management, and more. So you should do your own research about it, but I have really liked taking these. I also take a green tea supplement, and it really helps with your metabolism, and I've noticed that it really helps with my energy, so I'm more active. I feel like you bloat more the more that you sit down and the less active you are. I also take a probiotic every night, which has actually really helped me with my digestive system and also Also, with not getting sick as much, I think taking a probiotic has been really beneficial for me. I take the Renew Life Ultimate Flora Probiotic. The next question is, how many days off do you get? So this really depends. If you are on reserve, I typically have 11 or 12 days off in a given month, and then the rest of the days I am on call. However, if it is my line month, then you can have like as much or as little as you want. With my airline, you are required to fly 40 hours a month. A lot of people get that confused with per week, but it's not. You are only required to fly 40 hours per month. What's awesome about that is it makes the career really flexible for parents or for people who have another job. A lot of people are a flight attendant and that's their side job. So this month I am flying 97 hours and I have 14 days off. And what's great is I'm able to back up my trips so they're really close together, so that way I can have longer amounts of days off. But when you're making your schedule in terms of having a specific amount of days off, it really just depends on the FAA legalities. Like, you can't fly for more than 6 days in a row without a 24-hour rest. You can only fly a certain amount of hours per day, and so on and so on. Question number 4 is, how long is reserve for your airline? So for those of you who don't know, there are 2 types of systems that we work with in terms of being a flight attendant. So you are either on reserve or you have a line. Reserve means that you are on call, similar to like a nurse, a doctor, or a firefighter. So I'm kind of just home, I have my phone with me, and then if I get called, I have 2 hours to report to the airport and work a trip. Now, having a line means that I have my schedule ahead of time. I bid for specific trips that I want, and I can trade them, I can drop them, I can kind of do whatever I want with those trips. However, you do have to get another flight attendant to pick up your trip if you do drop it. So you can't just decide, oh, I'm not going to go to work today, I'm just going to not do this trip. So for my airline, when you are first hired, you are on straight reserve for 1 year. And then for 3 years after that, you are on, one off. So 1 month reserve, 1 month align for 3 years. So after those 3 years, so going into your 4th year, you switch to 3-1. So you have 3 months align and 1 month reserve. And basically you have that schedule, the 3-1, until you can hold off reserve, which is probably never. Especially for me, since I am based in Dallas, which is a super senior base. You have flight attendants who are still on reserve here past 30 years. So it's just something that you kind of have to take with the job. Question number 5 is, did you get to pick your base? So yes and no. While I was in training, we were given a list of bases that were open for us, and I had Miami as my #1 choice, and I was actually given that, which is awesome. So you put in your request for the specific base that you want, given the choices that are available at the time. So basically that means that the company needs flight attendants in this specific base, and they might not need flight attendants in X, Y, and Z specific bases. So when I got my base as Miami, I actually put in my transfer for Dallas while I was still in training. So I ended up only being based in Miami for 2 months, and then I was given my transfer to Dallas, and I've been here since. So the great thing is, even if you get a base out of training that you are not too excited about, you can always put in your transfer and request to go to a different base. And as long as there's openings, you'll get it. Question number 6 is, how tall do you have to be for your airline? Honestly, you really don't have to be tall. There are people in my training class that I think were like 5 foot, 5'1". When you are given your CJO, they have you do a reach test. And basically that's where they take you into a room and they have you reach into an overhead bin and make sure that you can access the emergency equipment. I'm 5'4", so I never really had any issues with that. Question number 7 is, how many years of customer service experience do you need? If I'm being honest with you, I did not have almost any customer service experience before I became a flight attendant. I did work as a copywriter intern right out of college, but I never worked like in a restaurant, I never worked at a bar, I never worked at a clothing store. So for me, I just feel really, really blessed that the recruiter saw something special in me despite not having a lot of customer service experience. But I definitely think customer service experience helps, because although our job as flight attendants is primarily about safety, we are in the customer service industry because we are obviously trying to provide the best service that we can to our passengers. I would definitely say to include like your best customer service experience jobs in your resume, because it will obviously be very beneficial to you. Question number 8 is tips on passing the interview portion. Honestly, my biggest tip is just to be yourself, because the recruiters for the airlines do not want to see a robot. They don't want to see someone who has rehearsed the answers 100 times in their head. So I think the airlines and the people who are recruiting you to become a flight attendant, they really just want to get to know you. Some of like my basic tips are to make sure that for the video interview, you are dressed professionally, you look like a flight attendant, you have a professional background. Some tips for the in-person interview that I think really helped me was I walked into the interview with my shoulders back and my chin up, and I was smiling the entire time. My face hurt so bad by the end of that that interview. I also make sure that I thanked every single recruiter that I saw at the interview for giving me this opportunity to interview with their company. Also, make sure that you follow all directions. Even if it seems super simple, it might be a really big deal to them. So just make sure that if the recruiters say to do something specific in terms of like a group activity or an individual activity, make sure you do it because they are looking to see if you can follow directions. Question number 9 is, what made you want to become a flight attendant? Honestly, it's cheesy, but I just really wanted a career where I would get paid to travel, and I wanted to be able to work with people. I hated sitting at a desk all day. It's not for me. As I mentioned earlier, I was a gymnast growing up, so I've always been really active my entire life, and I just think that the world is so beautiful. There are so many places to see, and being a flight attendant is one of the best ways to see the world. Question number 10 is advice for new flight attendants. My best advice is to just go with the flow. You know, you can't be mad about delays, you can't be mad about cancellations, you can't be mad if you get stuck in a certain city one night and you don't make it home. You just have to learn that this is part of the industry. You will honestly lose your mind if you allow like delays and cancellations to really like get under your skin. This is just a personal thing that I do, but I just really try to live my life from a place of gratitude. And so I am just really grateful for my job and grateful that I get to see these amazing places. But being grateful for the job has really helped me, especially on days where, you know, you were flying for 13 hours or 14 hours a day and you are reaching your max duty limit, and you might be frustrated with passengers or with miscommunication with crew members or just really long days. I would also say to get as much sleep as you possibly can on your layovers, on your days off. Anytime you can sleep, just do it. Sleep, sleep, sleep. My last tip for that is to just have fun with it. Like, it is such a fun career. You get to work with so many awesome people and meet so many great passengers and see all of these amazing places. All right, and question number 11 is a bonus question, and it is there anyone you would like to collab with in person from YouTube? It can be a beauty, lifestyle, or even another flight attendant YouTuber. Dream world, I would love to collab with Whitney Simmons. She's a fitness YouTuber. I have followed her for a while, and I just love her because she is super positive and she has a great attitude about life, and I love following along with her workout videos, and also she was a gymnast, so I feel like I can relate to her on a level there. But I would also love to collab with a lot of other flight attendant YouTubers. I think that would be awesome. I have not done that yet. Those are all of the questions, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again so much to Kat Nesbitt and Galley for tagging me and sending me these questions. I am also tagging Life by Francesco now, and I will put all of their YouTubes in the description box below. If you guys have any more questions, just please let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer all of them. Thank you everyone so much for supporting my channel. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss any travel tips and adventures. I will see you guys next time. Bye!